much work is this, and how happy are you with the final results?
Well, it's 5 years of work on this deal, but really, I mean, close to 17 years of work. I think that, you know, we've moved in a way as a group of players and with our staff that I think we're stronger than ever before, and I think that this continues to move the league forward and improves the playing conditions for all players.
I was just reading the details, and it seems like the players got, it looks like everything that y'all have asked for in at least some regard, some percentage. What was the change in the negotiations that enabled these advances?
Well, again, I think that, you know, over the last several years, I think we've made a lot of changes internally. I think we've changed our board structure, we've changed our communication structure. I think that overall, internally as a group, we've gotten stronger. I mean, I think that not only are we the most diverse league in the world, but I think we've somehow found a way to harness that and became really strong as a group. I think the league has sensed that. And again, the success of the league is really on the backs of the players, and I think that that's improved drastically over the last 10 years. And, you know, that means that the league knows that it can continue to invest properly in us and improve the product overall.
Yeah, the next question was going to be, will this help the stated goal of becoming one of the best leagues in the world now that there's more money, more charter flights, better free agency rules, et cetera?
I mean, I think, you know, it's not time to have a parade. There's still plenty of work to be done. But, you know, just like, you know, I think that any negotiation like this is a step in the right direction. I think that overall we feel pretty good. Like I said, when the talks were ongoing, I think that a good deal is good for everyone. You know, I think a good deal that promotes the quality on the field, that allows players to live a good life so that they can take care of themselves and perform on Saturdays is the most important thing. And I think that we've gotten closer there.
How active were you in the negotiations? I mean, I know you're a board member, but were you like front and center for the players, or?
I would say in the end, front and center. I think in the past we've always gotten down to, you know, the 25th hour, and we've involved federal mediators and all been in the same room, at least my last two negotiations. So this one was a bit differently, but went a bit differently. So at the very end, we were in Florida, and there were some player reps in DC that closed the deal out at the end. But as far as throughout the negotiation, you know, I mean, I've been on the phone, I think, constantly for the last 2 years. So there's been plenty of work.
Jeff, specifically on player movement and free agency, which is also a big issue for the players, is the change that was announced today from 20 to 24, or 5 years of service rather than 8, is that a victory, or is there still work to be done there as well?
I think there's still work to be done, but I think it's also a pretty big win. You know, I mean, victory, I don't think that, one thing I've learned throughout this time with the Players Association is that, you know, we as athletes are trained to think about wins and losses, and negotiations aren't necessarily, you know, we won, they lost, they won, we lost. Ultimately, it's kind of a give and take. I do think that to increase the amount of players that can enter free agency to something that mirrors more of the North American sports landscape, to have a league where any player designation that player can go into free agency, whether you're a minimum player, a 10 player, a DP player. I think that that's really important too, because then, like our stated goals all along, is to allow for the same rights for all players across the board and begin to eliminate the restrictions. And I think that we've done that. So I don't like to speak in victories and losses, but I think that it's a pretty big step.
And then for you, you've had a 14, 15-year career. How important is it just for you personally to be doing this for the next generation of players, not just American players, but the international players that are coming? They're younger all the time. They need to get up to speed on their rights.
Yeah, I think that it's important. I think that, you know, you look at the makeup of the roster at Atlanta United right now, and I look around the room, and there's plenty of players that haven't been here very long. And I think that it's important for them to learn the history and continue going in the right direction. But as far as I'm concerned, or Brad, or Parky, who's left, who's very involved, we've been through a lot, and I think that you think about your playing legacy and what you've done, but you also think about leaving the league in a better place than when you came, and in good hands. And I think overall we've done that. It hasn't always been easy. It hasn't always been comfortable. I think that there's a lot of times when it's not comfortable. But I think we've gotten again another step forward, and I'm happy to be in this spot.
Was there anything y'all didn't get?
I told you the media access policy. No, I think that the way we internally structured how we want to go about negotiations, we feel pretty good about 9/10 of the things that are out there. At least, I think we did a good job.
Is it nice to be able to just focus on the beginning of the season now? Champions League, kind of have this behind for the next 5 years.
Yeah, you said it. I mean, I think there's a huge relief. I'm sure for everybody. I think from the owners all the way down to the kid guys to to the guy who mows the lawn. I think that whoever is working in this is thinking about it, and the CBA governs a lot, and it involves a lot of people, and I think that everyone can feel good about being able to move on and really focus on what we all want to do.
You've won a bunch of trophies, or climbing the record books, almost tops in minutes and everything. Is this and the previous CBAs what you hope will be kind of your legacy as a player?
I don't know. I think history judges CBA, so we'll see what happens. Again, I want to, when I think about it, I think about when I came in the league, and then I think about where guys are coming in the league. When I retire in 2024, the minimum salary will be close to $110,000, and when I started in 1924, it was $10,000. So it's very good, and I think that it's been a long time coming.
Jeff, you mentioned that the Players Association is stronger than ever. I spoke with Diego Rubio, who also echoed that sentiment recently, a couple days ago. What does that mean for the Players Association, that the team, that it's a stronger union, more players are getting involved, more players from different backgrounds are getting involved, it's not just domestic players? And what does that mean for the future of the MLSPA?
I think the longer the league is around, the more information that's out there. When a foreign player came in 10 years ago, I think that there wasn't as much info out there about the league. What am I getting into? I mean, I remember guys that come in the league and they were told they were traded, and they said, "What the heck is that?" But now they're coming in, they're aware, and I'm sure their agents are telling them, and they know that all the hoops that they've had to jump through to sign contracts kind of gives them that awareness. But there's more info, there's more history now, and I think the guys get into it and want to know their rights and want to know what's going on, and I think that's really important. The more you know about how the league is structured, the better we're going to be, because before it was guys just worrying about the dollars, and now I think that even the questions I get now in our locker room are more specific, and guys have a better understanding, and that just means that you have a better idea of what you want to achieve and fight for as you go forward.
It seems like there are still buckets of money, target allocation money, designated players. That was something that I remember somewhere where y'all were talking about trying to get rid of those things.
Yeah.
Is there any disappointment, or is it going to be easier to understand?
It'll be easier to understand. I mean, restricted money goes from like 50-50 at the beginning of where we are in 2019 to close to 80-20 by the end of the deal. So there's far less restricted money, and I think that's a great thing. I think that we also have kind of a protection against whatever new money gets added to the deal should the league decide to do that along the way. And there's going to be consultation with the PA, and a certain percentage, if they want to add it outside of the cap, a certain percentage of the additional money will have to go in the cap as well. So there are built-in protections that we've created that I think will sort of eliminate that fear of new money creating more restrictions, and I think that that's maybe something that will not meet the eye immediately, but in the long term will be very good for the players.
No, you'll be here all day, and just a few more here.